Yo, what is up guys? It's your boy Bernie here, giving you yet another video here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And today guys, if the title of the video didn't give it away, and if the background doesn't give it away, we of course are going to be talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, otherwise known as the Greek Freak. We know that Giannis it was a little bit of a disappointing series against the Miami Heat, right? We all expected Giannis to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals and to, at least contend for an NBA championship, but ultimately they fell to the Miami Heat, and Giannis had to watch from the bench in that last game, in Game 5, I believe. And it just kind of sucks because we know that Giannis is probably going to be the MVP, and a lot of people are going to be criticizing the MVP decision because he didn't make it past the second round. Now, we know that Giannis is a very young player. He's 24, 25, almost getting to that age where it's almost that prove it time, where it's trying to prove that he is an NBA superstar and, cemented as one of the face of the leagues. We know that Giannis doesn't see himself as the face of the league at this moment, but at the same time, I think it's obvious that we know that he is. And, the biggest thing for the Milwaukee Bucks is that the Bucks are adamant that they won't trade Giannis if he rejects the Supermax. And that's, of course, a story from Tim Botman from ESPN. There's many other stories that Giannis is not going to be demanding a trade. And that's the biggest thing for the Milwaukee Bucks going from here on out, is that a lot of them, the Milwaukee Bucks fans, a lot of the Milwaukee Bucks organization are scared that Giannis is going to dip out. I mean, here on this channel, The Charge, we have a lot of videos talking about whether or not Giannis is going to be moving on to a different organization. We know that Giannis is definitely a player that can warrant a move to whatever situation he wants. I've talked about him maybe moving to Miami. My friends and many others have talked about him going to the Toronto Raptors, solidifying a star movement there. But I just think in my heart to heart, I think Giannis is a loyal guy, and I think I'll see him in Milwaukee from here on out. The biggest question is going to be, can he attract other superstars to come to Milwaukee and play with him? And now let's read the story from, like I said, Tim Botman of ESPN. The Milwaukee Bucks have no intention of trading Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason should he pass on signing a Supermax contract that could be worth over $220 million over 5 seasons. He also writes that multiple sources are adamant that the Bucks won't trade for him under that scenario. The Bucks have made it, or Giannis, I should say, has made it a clear point and a priority that winning has to be an expectation. His priority is winning the championship, and also there's an expectation that he won't sign regardless of where the 2021 cap comes in. Now, we know that Giannis signed an extension back in 2016, obviously, the rookie to the max. But the biggest question is going to be for me, if Giannis is about winning, are the Bucks going to be adamant? Are they going to make some moves? Because we know that this roster is just not made for, it was made for Giannis to succeed, but we see what they're doing. They're basically kind of packing in the house and letting other people beat them. And we know that Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe, they're great players, but they're not the number 2 star that Giannis needs. And I think that they really need to look deep and hard about who they're going to bring in. Victor Oladipo is going to be on the market very soon. He's probably going to want to trade. Maybe you bring in a guy like I'm not sure about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid might be on the board. Chris Paul might be on the board. Chris Paul and Giannis might be a good combination. You're going to have to trade for him, of course, but it might be something worth looking at. I think that the Bucks have to look at different trade scenarios and have to look for players that fit Giannis's playstyle, but also can be that dog that can attack and also get themselves buckets. Chris Middleton is a great player. Obviously got some all-star votes, but is obviously not the player that the Bucks thought was going to be the number 2 guy. All-star, perfect player. But I think another thing we also have to look at is the coaching situation. Mike Budenholzer, a great coach, but I just think that they could definitely do a lot better with a different coach. Whether that's Tyronn Lue, whether that's a different coach, maybe not Mike D'Antoni. He's probably going to go to Indiana. That's just the rumors. But there's a lot of coaches. Maybe Billy Donovan might go there. I think there's a lot of places where we could see Mike Budenholzer get replaced. Budenholzer is a great coach. He's just not the coach to take a team over the hump. He's a great guy to build up a team, get them to the championship point, and then a championship coach is going to take over and making sure that they get what they need to in order to win a championship. But that's going to be the biggest question mark for Giannis going into the future, is what kind of legacy and what does he want to cement his future to be? Because if he really wants someone to come in, we'll see what sacrifices are made, not only on the roster side, but also on the money side, because we know that the cap is probably more than likely going to go down due to the fact of the pandemic and what's been going on. A lot of revenue has been lost from these pandemics, and it's going to be an interesting situation to kind of see what is going to be going on in Milwaukee, because I know the Milwaukee fans haven't had a player like this since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they really want to solidify Giannis as their number 1 guy and solidify Giannis as the face of the league, but also the franchise as well. And it's going to be a situation where they're going to have to pray and hope that he doesn't decide to switch teams. Because to me, I think I would switch teams if I was Giannis. I know that you're going to be losing a lot of the money, but you can make it up in endorsements. You can make it up in many other ways. Although the economy right now is not the best, the economy always finds a way to pay these guys, no matter what it is. And whether that's through Nike sponsorship, whether that's through something else, that's what's going to happen for Giannis from here on out. But I want to know your guys' opinion on this whole situation about Giannis, and adamant that the Bucks won't trade him. I mean, if you're the Bucks and you know that Giannis is not going to resign, if he just decides, you know what, I want to leave, do you find a trade for him, or do you keep him and let him run down his contract? I mean, that's going to be the biggest, another question mark for this team, is do you get the most out of Giannis if he decides to go to a different team, or do you decide, you know what, we're going to take our chances with Giannis, see what we can do, and if we can't, then we'll just wipe our hands and we'll start over again. And if I'm the Bucks, I'm probably going to be looking for a trade. I mean, it has to be a mutual interest, right? If Giannis decides I want to trade, if Giannis decides, you know what, let's see what we can do, then I think the Bucks have to honor Giannis's request and have to look for a trade in order to save their franchise, but also making sure that they don't fall 20 years behind, right? I mean, the biggest thing that a team can do is not trade away their superstar when they have the value for him. And the thing for Giannis as well, you know, why give away your trade value if you know that you're going to be leaving anyway? I mean, give yourself your leverage, and it goes for both ways, whether it's the Bucks or whether it's for Giannis. And I think that it's going to be a mutual thing if they decide to trade, if they decide to split apart. But it's going to be another interesting situation as we continue to monitor what is going to be going on for a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, a superstar that could potentially go to Miami, could go to Milwaukee, or could stay in Milwaukee, or could go to the Toronto Raptors. That's kind of like the three destinations that I see more likely for Giannis to go. And like I said, if I'm Giannis, I'm looking at the Miami Heat. I mean, I know that it's going to be a sucker move, and it's going to be the same thing that Kevin Durant did, but to be honest, I like the roster of Miami and how Giannis fits in that roster. I don't know what players you'll have to give up for him, but I just think it fits perfectly, and I think that we could see something, even though we've seen Gordon Dragic might be re-signed by the Miami Heat. That's a rumor. But nevertheless, I mean, let's make sure that Giannis is on a good team and making sure that superstars want to come to Milwaukee. That's going to be the biggest question mark for me, because we saw how LeBron did back in the day when he was trying to bring people to Cleveland before the first time he moved from Miami and then back to Cleveland. Talk about the first time where he was drafted to Cleveland and tried to bring guys in. Nobody wanted to go to Cleveland. D-Wade didn't want to go, Chris Bosh didn't want to go, and they ultimately had to settle for Miami as being the place where they got to go and win a championship. And I really want to know if Giannis is willing to do the same thing, or if Giannis is like, does Giannis have the presence and the command to bring guys from other organizations to come to Milwaukee? You know, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's not the best. I would say to be honest, I wouldn't live there, in my opinion. I think it snows too much for my liking, and I think that I would rather, you know, deal with some sunshine, or, you know, live up here in the Seattle area. I think I would prefer that over Milwaukee, which is in the Midwest. Nothing wrong with the Midwest at all. I actually would probably, you know what, maybe it would be Wisconsin, but nevertheless, I just think that Giannis is going to be going for a different organization, a different place, if he can't bring superstars in. And whether or not they bring him in, it's going to be an interesting situation to see, will they fit with Giannis and be that second superstar? Because right now, Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, they're just not cutting it for Giannis to win an NBA championship. And I really want Giannis to win an NBA championship. I want him to be competitive. But the problem is that if he continues going on this path, I just don't see a way for him to be competitive. But anyway, guys, that is just my opinion on the story. Obviously, Tim Bateman talking about the Bucks are adamant that they won't trade Antetokounmpo or Giannis if he rejects the Supermax. And if you were in the position of a GM, would you trade Giannis to get trade value if he's not going to come back to you? Or do you just let it ride and see if you can win a championship in maybe a year? Before you win the championship, maybe decides to re-sign. I want to know your guys' comments and opinions in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, my name is Bernie, here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And remember, guys, if we're almost there to 1,000 subscribers, can you get us to 1,000 subscribers? We're about 2 away from 700. Can you make sure to hit that subscribe button? It's a red button down there. And also remember to hit that like button. The more likes, it seems YouTube decides to, the algorithms makes more videos noticeable. So can we get at least 10 likes on this video? 10 likes for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and what you guys would decide to do with Giannis. Would you trade him? Would you keep him? But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie, here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. I probably said that twice again, but anyway, guys, we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.